Syrian fighter jets pounded rebel areas across the country on Monday with scores of airstrikes that anti-regime activists called the most widespread bombing in a single day since Syria's troubles started 19 months ago. The death toll for what was supposed to be a 4-day ceasefire between the regime of President Bashar Assad and rebels seeking his overthrow exceeded 500, and activists guessed the government's heavy reliance on air power reflected its inability to roll back rebel gains. The army is no longer able to make any progress on the ground, so it is resorting to this style. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased, said activist Hisham Najim via Skype from the northern town of Khan Sheikh. Activists said more than 80 people were killed nationwide Monday while videos posted online showed fighter jets screaming over Syrian towns, mushroom clouds rising from neighborhoods and residents searching the remains of damaged and collapsed buildings for bodies. One video from Marhed al-Numan in the north showed residents trying to save a boy who was buried up to his shoulders in rubble. Another showed the dead bodies of a young boy and girl laid out on a tile floor. The airstrikes focus on rebel areas. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. In the northern provinces of Aleppo and Idlib, as well as on rested areas in and around the capital Damascus. The regime has been bombing rebel areas in the north for months, but had sparingly used its air force near the capital, presumably to avoid isolating its supporters there. But analysts say that rampant defections and rising rebel capabilities have lessened the regime's ability to take back and hold rebel areas, making airstrikes its most effective way to fight back. Monday was supposed to be the fourth and final day of an internationally sanctioned ceasefire to coincide. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. With the Muslim holiday of Eid al-Adha, one of the holiest periods of the Muslim calendar. But violence marred the truce almost immediately after it was to go into effect on Friday and continued apace through the weekend. UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon said Monday he was deeply disappointed that the warring parties didn't respect the ceasefire and called on the divided international community to unite to stop the bloodshed. As long as the international community remains at odds, the needs, attacks and suffering will only grow, he told reporters in South Korea. Envoy Lakhdar Brahimi, who represents Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. The UN and the Arab League and presented the plan, told reporters in Moscow that he'd keep trying to lessen the violence and put an end to it. World powers remain divided on how to stop Syria's crisis, with the US and many Arab and European nations calling for Assad to step down while Russia, China and Iran continue to back the regime. But with the sides largely stalemated on the battlefield and little international appetite for military intervention, few expect the war to end soon. Anti-regime activists say more than 35,000 people have been killed since the Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Anti-Assad uprising started in March 2011. The holiday ceasefire was the first international effort in months to try to stop the violence, and it accomplished little. The Britain-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, which compiles daily death tolls based on contacts inside Syria, said more than 500 people had been killed during the 4-day holiday. It said more than 80 people were killed Monday and that the number was likely to rise further. Prior to the holiday, about 150 people were reported dead each day. But in the change, Rami Abdul Rahman, head of the observatory, said the Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Number of airstrikes spiked on Monday. Today is seen the most intense air raids across Syria since the start of the uprising, he said, estimating there were more than 60 airstrikes nationwide by early afternoon. He said the airstrikes sought to compensate for recent regime losses on the ground. Muhyiddin Lathkani, a London-based member of the Syrian National Council opposition group, said the air attacks were a result of the regime's total despair and reflected the military's inability to recapture rebel areas. Among the hardest hit areas was the northern town of Marhed al-Numan, which rebels Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Seized earlier this month only to face heavy retaliation from the military. Amateur videos posted online Monday showed dozens of men combing through huge swaths of rubble, occasionally finding wounded people covered in cement dust and carrying them off for treatment. Other videos showed fighter jets screaming through the sky and dropping bombs over Damascus suburbs including Yagroud, Hatzor and Harasta. Videos from the poor neighborhood of Hajar al-Aswad in South Damascus showed what activists said were people killed by regime shelling. One video showed the dead family of 5, all wrapped in blankets. Others showed 3 dead. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. But is in a small bus and the bodies of 2 young children laid out on a floor. Activist videos could not be independently verified due to reporting restrictions in Syria, but they appeared genuine and corresponded to other AP reporting of the events depicted. Also Monday, a car bomb exploded in the Damascus suburb of Jarmana, knocking balconies off of residential buildings and sending firemen rushing to fight the blaze, according to TV footage. The state news agency SANA said 11 people were killed and 67 wounded. The observatory said 5 people were killed. SANA also reported thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. The second car bomb in the area later Monday but did not give a number of the dead and wounded. In Turkey, about 150 members of the Syrian opposition met Monday to discuss how to manage rebel-held areas and plan for a post-Assad future. Abdelbasit Ziadak, president of the Syrian National Council, said the Syrian regime was losing its grip on power and that the opposition must be prepared to rebuild the devastated country. Since the start of the uprising, the Syrian opposition has failed to come up with a united leadership and has been riddled by thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Disagreement between numerous factions over a role of Islam in the uprising, the best way to topple Assad and other issues. Exiled opposition leaders also have no control over and limited communication with many rebel brigades fighting inside the country.